programming is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City designed to inspire natural and relaxed living with a dash of southern charm. The Sweet Bay community features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and much more. It's got all the makings of a friendly neighborhood with everything you need, just a short walk away. For more information about the Sweet Bay community, call 844-35-SWEET or go online to sweetbayfl.com.
This is Coach's Corner.
Welcome, Commodore fans, to Coach's Corner, a production of Gulf Coast State College, a digital media program here, and we want to thank the folks at Sweet Bay for being an underwriter for this program. Today, Coach Jay Powell and I will talk about the Commodores, how they did, what's coming up, and some games they played. Right now, 11-3 overall, Coach. State Coaches Poll ranked 7th in the NJCAA National Poll, ranked 23rd in the country. Played 14 games, averaging 72.4 points a game. Field goal percentage is 43.5, three-point percentage 29.6, free throw percentage 66.8, and rebounds per game 35.7, and assists per game 13.1. So that's how the Commodores are stacked up in 14 games. Went on the road last week and played a couple of tough games, it looks like, Coach.
Yes, we had a rough weekend this weekend, and it's the first time, all season that we've kind of been in that situation where we came up empty both games. Felt like, and this goes back on me, our week of preparation wasn't that good. Monday and Tuesday we had good practices. Thursday and Friday we did not. Just not much energy, not much desire to get better on Thursday and Friday in practice. And I warned the men on Friday, guys, it won't be because of your talent, but if you don't get fired up to play and play your hearts out and play determined good basketball, then you're going to get beat this weekend. And I couldn't really get the guys adjusted and changed. Tried to do some things, took them to dinner Friday night, to try to get them, fired up and focused. And hey, this is college basketball. We got to be ready to play every night. And of course, we were able to go to Ocala for Saturday morning before the game, and had a good, easy, 5-hour bus ride there. Got checked into our hotel since we were playing again Sunday. Had a pregame meal, and I thought warm-ups were okay Saturday night. We played the first half, and we scored at the buzzer, and we were down 12. We had 4 men with 2 fouls. We were just, fouling. I'm not even going to, it's not officiating or anything. We were just fouling and not doing very well. But, hey, we were down 12 and in the ball game at halftime, and I tried to calm the guys down a little bit. We were playing a little frantically, but that's because we had some guys kind of playing out of position because of the foul trouble. And we played even till about the 10-minute mark, and we made a free throw to cut it to 11. And halfway through the second half, we went into our press to try to make some things happen, and we did. We got the turnover, and we missed the layup. And after we missed that layup, they had a guy, I don't even want to say he's snowbirding. He was in their press breaker, but when we got the ball, all of our guys flooded into the front court. And so when we missed the layup and they got it, they just threw it over the top, and he dunked it with nobody around him to take them up 13 with just under 10 minutes left. And from that point on, the guys, through my leadership, we did not handle that adversity very well. They made, I believe it was 7 3-pointers in the final 9 minutes of the game. And so, they ended up beating us pretty handily. It wasn't indicative of how the first 30 minutes of the game went, but when that adversity hit us in the face, we didn't respond very well. Central Florida out-rebounded us. That shouldn't happen. So both positions in both areas, in the backcourt and the front court, didn't play as well as what we have to play in order to win. So we went into the locker room after the game and, did exactly what, coaches are supposed to do, and said the things that coaches are supposed to say as far as, guys, this wasn't our best performance. But we tried to stay calm. We had a game the next day, and the Central Florida game was a toss-up game anyway. And so let's not let what happened tonight get us beat again tomorrow, and let's be focused. But we've got to have more energy. We've got to have guys desiring to play. We have to have guys facing adversity and handle adversity better. Really be just a little more emotionally stable than a couple of the guys are. And we started off well on Sunday, and we were up 8 at the half, but we had gotten up 12, and I know that we'll go back to some stats. You like to mention some of those. We got up 12, and then just, really one of our guys lost his composure a little bit, and then just all of a sudden it was from 12 to 8, and at that point, we go into half up 8, and then the second half we just didn't play well, and we ended up losing 75-70 on Sunday. That Hillsboro game on Sunday, not to take anything away from them, they're a formidable opponent. They're 6-6, but I feel like out of our 3 losses, that's the first time all year that we lost one that, especially with it being a neutral site, we could have, maybe even should have won. Central Florida at Central Florida, the score shouldn't have been, we shouldn't have had the gap, but come on, toss-up game. Sanjack on a neutral site court, toss-up game, we lost that one. Should have won yesterday against Hillsboro, I felt like, but of course their coach feels like they should have won. So, that's just the way it goes. So we got back last night, and we'll do what we can do today to make sure the men have a great final exams. We've already had a study hall this morning at 8 a.m. until 9, and then we'll have a good practice trying to get ready for Enterprise State, because we don't need to go into the Christmas break on a 3-game skid. We need to get up to 12-3. That's a very good record out of your first half of your season, and then we can go in to the 2 Holiday Classic games and the 12 conference games with the opportunity, if we can go 12-3 and then 12-3, out of the full schedule, then that'd be a heck of a run, heck of a season. And so that's where we've got to focus in and what we've got to try to do at this point.
So we'll go back up a little bit and look at some of the games. That was, but we still have about 7 minutes to talk. So
no problem.
So we'll go back and talk about Central Florida playing on their floor. Naturally, it's a game for them. They're, I think, 9-1 overall right now, and a very good team. If we look at the first half, second half numbers, 48-36, and then, like you said, 58-40 for a 76-106. And those are the kind of games you look at and you go, they got down, they couldn't get back. But on the other hand, they did bounce back, and it was 75-70 the next night. They just didn't pack it all in.
Yeah, there wasn't like it's not like the guys didn't want to win the game. We just didn't do what you have to do to win the game. There's a difference in between, I'd like to have $1 million, but maybe I'm not going to do all the work that it requires to have $1 million in the bank type, philosophy or mindset. But I think that pointing out stats, a positive from this weekend is our perimeter players shot the ball much better from the 3-point line in both games, and we spent last week really working on that. We added in shooting contested 3-pointers as opposed more. We've always shot contested 3-pointers, but many more contested 3-pointers than just repetition spot-up shooting last week in practice. So that's a positive that seemed to pay off. We had 17 turnovers. I think Central Florida marked us down in the stat column for 20. So 17 turnovers is too many against Central Florida, but we came back with 12 or 13 against Hillsboro. So we had some bright spots. We did some okay things with that. And if I was going to say there was one bright spot, it would be that our perimeter players shot the ball from the 3-point line much better this weekend. But at the same time, they shot 54% from the 3-point line, Central Florida did, in the game Saturday night. And like I said, it broke away on us at the end when those last 9 minutes when they were just putting it in our eye pretty consistently. So, hey, we got down. We didn't fight through adversity. We didn't make the plays. We got beat. And then we come back Sunday. And like I say, I was pleased with the way we came out and started to play Sunday. But we just had some breakdowns that are just unnecessary, that just shouldn't happen. College basketball players, college basketball team should hold it together, especially defensively, better than what we did. But again, we shot the ball from the 3-point line much, much better. I think we were 11 of 21 from the 3-point line on Sunday. And so that's a step in the right direction. Only 12 or 13 turnovers. That's a step in the right direction from our perimeter players. We kind of got in a situation where I think that we were maybe 4 of about 20 from our forwards and post from the field on Sunday. And when you lose by 5 and most of those shots are within 8 or 9 feet, when you're 4 of about 20 from about 2 or 3 guys, and then you look at those same guys and you're maybe 11 of 17 from the free throw line, everybody's entitled to having a rough game, but we got to fight through that, and we've got to get through the adversity, and we've got to just get better. We got there's a lot of time left in the season, but we got to get better to where those things don't happen to us.
And if you look, Saturday night, Will Robertson come off the bench for 22. Gregor had 15, and Ben had 10 for you. That was only 3 double-figure scores you had.
Ben Eke made some nice 14, 15-foot jump shots. He still has a ways to go with some defensive positioning and aggressiveness, and sometimes on the boards. But Ben's got a great attitude. He's working hard, and he wants to put the team first. And so, I feel like we've got to limit him. Sometimes he feels like he has a little too much freedom on offense to put the ball on the deck. But when we can get him going to his jump hooks or shot fakes and jump hooks, and that nice little 14, 15-foot, most of the time baseline jump shot after he faces up or catches off of the pass, off of someone else's penetration. Like you mentioned, Ben's coming along. We've had a series of about 4 or 5 games now where Ben's been playing better basketball.
And so Platter. Then if we look at Sunday night, and playing on Sunday is kind of unusual, Coach. How did that work out?
That's less than ideal. We've kind of just made it over the last 11 years here. Well, even the year I was an assistant, the last 12 years here, we've kind of just made it the norm that Sunday's our day off. And not even really for religious reasons, even though some people probably have some religious things to take care of on Sundays. But men need a day. Coaches need a day. But once a year we have the Florida JUCO Shootout, and at least for the last 9, it's always been on a Saturday, Sunday. And, we've had, I guess, 3 Florida JUCO Shootouts in a row where we've gone down there and gone 2-0. And so to go down there in front of the host state, and there's, coaches watching the players from 4-year schools to recruit them, to go down there and drop 2, that was disappointing. It's not what we're used to. But it is what it is, and we didn't play well enough to win, so we didn't.
Now, briefly, we'll look forward. We play tomorrow night up at Enterprise State. And we played them on the 16th of November and defeated them 77-63. But we'll be at home this time.
Yeah, so we'll go to Enterprise on Tuesday, and we beat them by 14, like you mentioned. But they have some nice big guys that run the floor. I won't forget, and I'll remind the guys that they literally jumped up and got the tip on us, no problem, to start the game. And the same guy that tipped it right to their guard ran straight to the rim, and they threw it back to the guy who just tipped it. He ran right by our guy, caught it, and just dunked the heck out of it right on our heads. So we had played about 3 seconds, and we had already been dunked on. Now after that, we settled in a little bit, and we played better basketball, and we were able to get it up to 20 at one point. And then they fought back and cut it to 8 with about 3 minutes to go after we extended it to 60-40. And then we were able to extend it back to 14 by the end of the game.
So with all that being said, Coach, we're out of time. So we got a game this week out of town, and then won't play again until after Christmas.
Yep, 29th.
So we'll be right back, Commodore fans, with Coach Scovel after a word from our sponsor.
Programming is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City designed to inspire natural and relaxed living with a dash of southern charm. The Sweet Bay community features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and much more. It's got all the makings of a friendly neighborhood with everything you need, just a short walk away. For more information about the Sweet Bay community, call 844-35-SWEET or go online to sweetbayfl.com.
Welcome back, Commodore fans. Coach Scovel and I are going to talk about Lady Commodores and how they did, what's coming up. Still unbeaten, 9-0 overall. In state coaches poll, ranked number 1. In the NJCAA national poll, still ranked number 1. Played 9 games, averaging 82.4 points a game, 43.6% from the floor, 34.6% from three-point line, and 70.5% from the free throw line. 42.2 rebounds per game and 16.1 assists. So that's how the Lady Commodores stack up in his first 9 games, and some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, those are pretty good percentages when you look at the newness of the team and the lack of veteran play. So those numbers look pretty good, and hopefully we'll either stay on that path. When you get into conference play, things usually change a little bit. So hopefully we can maintain some of those numbers and continue to score a lot. But usually the numbers change when you start panhandle play.
It'll change a little bit. So played Central Georgia Tech on the night, won 46-102, 34-18, 24-18, 28-8, and 16-7. And a lot of players getting a lot of minutes that night, Coach.
Yeah, that was a good game. We started out and things got off to a great start. Shayla Bennett was extremely hot from the long-range ball, and it hit 9 out of 10 for the half. And so we got to play. Everybody got significant minutes. Matter of fact, the starters probably got less minutes than the ones coming off the bench. So it was a great win, and it was probably the first game out of the 9 that we've played that everybody played their role and played it well. We've had all the jumbled lineup and the injuries and like we say, the pieces of the puzzle coming together. That's probably the best that the puzzle has looked at this point in time. But we're getting ready to. We've only got 2 more games, and then 2 after Christmas are going to be extremely tough against Shelton and South Georgia Tech, who are both highly ranked. And so we'll see. We're getting close. That's what we said. We're getting close to getting ready for panhandle play. But that was just a great victory on Saturday. We played well, shot the ball well, did things well.
And like you talked about, Bennett, if you look at her numbers, 10 of 12 from the three-point line, 12 of 14 from the floor,
right.
Scored 34 points.
Yeah, and a short period of time, I think maybe 20 minutes.
She got 27 minutes according to this. So
she just shot the ball extremely well. And we've said that when her and Jeter, if they're both hot on the same night, it's going to be a great night for Gulf Coast, and they both were. Jeter ended up with 28.
28,
so that was, they scored a lot of the points, so well over half of the points for the 2 of them, and so it was just nice. And then our bench played well. Dominique Banks came in off the bench, and oh my gosh, she had about 4 blocks all in the same possession, and had 7 for the game, and double-figure scoring. So some of the we're beginning to learn our roles, and we got to get a lot better. We've come a million miles, and we got a million more to go, but that was a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, because you shoot 16 of 26 from the three-point line. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a great night. I won't do that. I probably won't do that in panhandle play, but it sure was fun to watch them do it the other night.
So, like you said, basically a brand new team coming back this year,
yes.
and they're starting to click a little bit. Now, it looks like we have a classic, the Visit Panama City Beach Classic coming up this Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. 4 teams coming in?
Yes, we play Arkansas Baptist. They'll play Chipola on Wednesday, so maybe we can get a little sneak peek at them Wednesday at night, and then we play them on Friday. And last year, those 2 teams were very athletic and tough, and we had to play well to win, and I foresee us having to play well against those 2 this weekend. I think it's going to be tough, and we're all excited to go home, and the coaches are probably as excited as the players to have a break. I know I am. And so we got to make sure that we were taking today off to give them time to kind of get the final exams over with and get ready for that. But so we've got to stay focused, that we still have 2 more games before we break, and hopefully we'll have some good practice starting tomorrow.
And the Lady Commodore fans will be able to watch really 2 games, because there'll be a game played before us on Friday night and then on Saturday. So games will start on Friday at 5. Lady Commodores will play at 7. And then the Lady Commodores will play the games will start at noon, and the Lady Commodores will play at 2.
At 2, and that game is going to be a ugly sweater contest. So the winner of that at halftime of our game, we'll have us a committee to judge, and somebody will win a gift certificate. So hopefully the fans will come out. This past weekend, We had free admission. It was donations for pet rescue, and we just did great. I think we took in over $400 and something for cash donations, and then lots of food and supplies. So it was a great event. We had a good crowd for a one game. We were talking about that earlier, that people really did support that cause. And hopefully this weekend it'll be a little more fun. Come and wear the ugly sweater, and there's a bunch of them out there. So hopefully everybody will come and kind of enjoy the moment and kind of send us off for the holidays and have some fun at the same time.
And who gets the lucky privilege of judging the ugly sweater?
We got to find some people. We won't find some ugly people to judge the ugly sweaters, but we're going to come up with that committee. That'll be managed by Mandy Carter, our administrative assistant, and of course Liz Casey. So they'll decide who the committee is.
That's one of those. Oh man! But Lady Commodores will play two. They'll take a break, and then they'll come back and play two big games. We'll play Shelton, ranked number 3 in the country right now, and then the next night we'll play South Georgia Tech, ranked 8th in the country right now. And how big effect is it to play and then take off for an extended period of time and come back?
It's hard, but everybody pretty much doing the same thing, so it's pretty much a level playing court, as we should say. But 10 days off. Some young ladies will spend some time in the gym. Some will spend none in the gym. So we'll see how we come back, but usually just stepping away, you come back and you're kind of excited, and we should be, because those are going to be, that's like having 2 more Panhandle games, honestly. And I'm not so sure we're excited about that, but and Shelton, I would assume, might move up to number 2 in South Georgia Tech, because Trinity Valley got beat this past weekend. So Shelton may move up to the number 2 spot, thinking that we stay number 1, but they just awfully tough, and they are a veteran team. Like, they have just about everybody back that gave them significant play last year. So, I'm kind of excited about that. But before we talk, before then, we have 2 games, and I'm real concerned, because this week is a tough week. You've got finals, you've got exams, you've got home, you got vacation, you got travel plans, and sometimes that can really, really be a distraction. So it's we're going to have to really stay focused in the next few days to figure out these first 2 games.
So we'll take care of business then. Right now, if we look at the poll, and the poll will change, but this is really the first poll based upon teams' records. Gulf Coast ranked number 1, Tallahassee ranked 5th in the country, Northwest Florida ranked 6th in the country, Pensacola State ranked 10th in the country, and Chipola ranked 19th in the country.
Yeah, that's all going to change. Even the number 1 spot may change here. You keep it till you probably get beat. But, 4 of your Panhandle teams in the top 10 in the country speaks very highly of the Panhandle Conference. And Chipola's right there. They just had a few glitches early on trying to get their pieces to the puzzle put together. But I think they've kind of got it figured out, because they're on a 7 or 8 game winning streak at this point. So that's probably not a real thing where they're ranked. They could probably be in the top 10 too.
So in other words, like you said, they've put together a nice winning streak.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they're playing well. And if we look at the state coaches poll, no surprise, Gulf Coast 1, Tallahassee 2, Northwest Florida 3, Pensacola 4, and Chipola 5.
Yeah.
And so that just says what it's going to be like starting in January.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Hopefully our fans and the community will come out, because I think Panhandle play there may be more parity this year than ever before. So it's going to be exciting.
And if we look at that, the only unbeaten teams in the state right now are 4 from the Panhandle Conference.
Yeah.
And so
it's going to change real quick.
So pretty soon, some of those are going to be changing. And if we look at Pensacola, they played 16 games already, Coach.
Yeah, they played a lot of games, and we had 3 more scheduled, and then there was some cancellations, so we would have had 11. We don't play 30. It's hard to get it in. It's hard to find games, and then travel and budget. So ours got reduced a little bit, not by our fault, because we had 3 tournaments to change, so we lost 3 games. So we would have 12 right now. Okay. But at the end of the day, it happens, and part of winning championships is being able to handle adversity. And we sure could have, this particular year, we could have used those extra 3 games for having such a new team to get more minutes of playing time in official game. But it happened, and we're going to survive. I guess at the end of the day, we don't have any injuries, and sometimes when you play more games, you risk getting injured. So, it is what it is, and we're going to move on.
Yeah, and you can look at it both ways, because, Tallahassee's played 10 games. And
Right.
if you look at Northwest Florida, they
Right.
played 11 games. Chipola has played 12. So other than Pensacola, you're right there. And, those extra games. And you can go back and forth, extra minutes or an injuries. And
Right.
we got some players coming back from injury. How they doing?
Yeah, well, Shayla Bennett was one of them, and so I think you're kind of seeing that she's kind of coming into her own, and hopefully she can keep that consistency and play like this the rest of the year. And then Stu Gay is, she came off of a major injury and a major surgery, and I don't know how long it's going to take for her to get. Number one, she's got to get over the mental issue of being afraid that it's going to happen again, and then the physical thing of not being able to do anything for 4 months. And she was only been released with physical play, physical contact. She actually played a game. It was her first day of physical contact when we went to the tournament. So she's got a little ways to go to get comfortable, but we see it every time we line up. We see a little more confidence and a little better play. So, I don't know if she'll be 100% this year. Mentally, physically she will, but mentally I think it's going to take a little while.
Yeah, because players when they're injured,
Yeah,
that's always in the back of their mind.
absolutely. When you've had those major surgeries and what they had to do to fix it, you play nervous.
And then somewhere, hopefully it clicks and they put that behind them and they move on and off we go. And and our bigs are doing well. If you look at 42.2 rebounds a game, that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, we have some athleticism, we have some depth, and we just gotta gain confidence in each other and understand our role and play our role. I watch a lot of basketball on TV, and sometimes I'm not sure that those big time Division I schools understand their roles at this time, and so we got to get that to where we all buy into our role. But we see it coming. It's been a little slow this year, but it's coming.
But it's coming with a team and coming to place. And with all that being said, it's going to make conference play this year exciting.
Oh yes, it really is. To sit here and say you're number one in the state and number one in the country, and before the conference is over with, you could be fifth in your conference. So we'll see. Got to get ready.
And one of the things there is different this year than. And we've talked about this before, is only 2 teams are moving on.
Only 2 are moving on. But I keep telling people, there could be a team, a Panhandle team, when you look at the rankings, you could not go to your region tournament and apply for an at-large bid to the national tournament.
And still get to go.
I think that could possibly happen this year when you look at the talent of the Panhandle and how we did this shootout. I mean, there's a lot of basketball to play, but there is that piece that could possibly happen. Yeah,
because when you look at them all ranked there, and there's a few teams that will play nationally ranked teams in their conference play.
Yeah.
But not every team in their conference will be nationally ranked like they are here. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we are too.
Everybody's excited, and it's getting close to being that time, and so we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we will.
So for Coach Rooney School, I'm James Baxley. Thanks for watching, Commodore fans, and we'll see you next time on the Commodore Sports Network.
This has been Coach's Corner with your host, James Baxley.